sixth rebound of the season, sixth double-double this season. Questions? A, do you want to lead?
Yeah, just start running off. I mean, dominant today, all facets. You know, what do you feel like was working?
I just felt like my teammates was making the right play and feeding me, and just taking advantage of that and just getting to my spot when I could.
Scott?
You know, some struggles at the free throw line, not just for you, but also as a team down the stretch. You know, what is the main challenge? You know, in the late moments, you know, just kind of converting at the line there.
I say just coming together and staying connected in those times. You know, we're in a conference where these games are going to be close, and we got to execute in times like that. Me and the rest of my teammates, and it just didn't fall today, but we're going to be better.
Team high, 35 minutes today. I guess coach just couldn't take you off. Did you think it was hard, especially in a close game, to keep your stamina up, or it was good?
No, I say I was pretty good. You know, we do a lot of conditioning and practice, stuff like that, so I just carries into the game. And plus, when we're in the moment, you know, down something at the house, got to protect the crib, so none of that matters.
At least defensively, the first half looked like you guys were looking to double team pretty early in the shot clock and then have to rotate. And the second half kind of changed. Double team seemed a little less. You talk about what was said at halftime, kind of what changed in the defensive game plan.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we just change up our defenses based on how their offense is responding. So that was just an adjustment we had to make. You know, instead of doubling in the post, we just switched everything. And I think it worked in our favor in coming back.
Okay.
I know you weren't teammates with him last year, but say Maxman says this was his return game. He had a huge game for Duquesne. Can you just talk about sort of the team reaction, especially maybe at halftime when he went on that run to end the first half?
Yeah, definitely a good player. You know, it's kind of his homecoming. Coming in here, he probably had tons of energy to come in here and play. I can't really speak for nobody else, but in my head, I just thought we had to cut his water off. You know, if he's excited to play, we have to be 10 times excited to play him in his homecoming and kind of shut that down. We couldn't do that tonight.
What would you kind of, came out a little slow in the first half. What would you kind of diagnose the reason for the slow start in the first?
I'd say it starts at practice. You know, the practices leading up, we kind of had some slow practices. So just adjusting to that and having better practices is going to carry into the game.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, Raphael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Great game. Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, my bad. I was so focused on distributing. We got 9. I got like, oh, no, I just changed the names.
Do you want to listen to everything? Wait 3 minutes and 17 seconds.
First one I had was the George Mason game.
I wonder what the craziest one I had.
St. Louis?
I had a lot of BA Max. I think
St. Joe's, maybe?
what's the good one? I think my craziest one I had was the Nia Roberts one. Oh, Florida one.
Frank Farm? Like a dog being a carrot.
AJ.
I knew it from Anthony.
Oh, I was gonna say that would have been cool.
I was like, why did I not say it?
That was my first name.
How about an opening statement for Coach, then questions?
Yeah, another hard-fought game. We got to let it get away from us a little bit in the first half. Came back, as we have almost every game we've played, and cut it to 1, and then just couldn't hang on to make a key free throw, a key layup. Credit. I thought Dixon may have made 2 very, very good defensive plays down the stretch, and obviously, I thought they had the big spurt at the end of the first half really hurt us, and Trey Archer had used a timeout really early, and I thought, well, maybe I should have used it in the first half, but again, then the game gets to 1 point, and I got 2 timeouts or whatever, and you look back and go, oh, well, it was good to have that many timeouts. So anyway, Duquesne has been playing very, very well. I mean, their record's not indicative of how well they're playing, and very talented team. I think Drew's doing a really good job, and so I knew this would be a dogfight like all the games in the league, and it sure was.
Last 2 wins over 25, the team had over 25 attempts from three in each game.
Yeah.
Besides, scratch like the four like heaves at the very end. It would only be 14.
Yeah, I have to look at it. I don't know. They really did a good job of heating us up. So I just have to look at it. It'd be hard for me to totally figure it out. Sean creates a lot for us. They were getting into him a lot. We kind of had to play more in pick and rolls. I also thought our rim reads in the first half were really bad, and so those could have equated to kick out threes that never got there.
Can you talk a little bit about Max Edwards coming back tonight and how the team reacted, especially after his great first half?
Yeah, well, I think we didn't do a great job guarding, and Max got some really got going a little bit in transition. Then made a couple of shots, and we know obviously he's capable. I think everybody is happy that Max has some success. Certainly not against us, but everyone's rooting for Max and hopes that that he does well. He's hadn't been playing quite as much for them, and when you get, it's always those emotional games. You know what I mean? Like for guys, it kind of goes one way or the other. They either play like great or they play poorly. We beat Duke one year by 30 or whatever. Yeah, it was like 30, I think. And Ryan Kelly didn't play in the game. It had been out. And then when we returned, we were in first place. When we returned to Cameron, it was his first game back. And I sort of asked you, like, hey, what do you think will happen? I was like, it's either he's not quite ready and his wind isn't great, or the adrenaline's running and he plays great. And that's what happened. He played, I think he had 33 in that game. And that's sort of, I think, what happened with Max today.
So after the goaltend that got overturned, had two plays off of stoppages.
Yeah, we got a shot, we got a rebound, we got a broken. I looked like once we got the rebound, we were like in a little bit of a funny spot, and I felt like, hey, let's call timeout, try to get something else, and then I think that's when Dixon made a great play on Trey.
Did you want them to shoot 2 threes on those 2 possessions in a row down?
No, we were trying to wrap it to the rim to see if we get something going to the rim. We didn't get it, and then obviously the guy who wraps, then the next guy comes off that, and that would be the outlet to catch it. And if you're open, you should shoot, So, yeah, I thought first one was a pretty good look, and second one, I thought Dixon made a great play.
And then just a quick follow-up. So there's about 46 seconds left. Did you want them to foul down 3 immediately?
Yeah, I think we wanted, and again, I can't remember because there are a couple of fouling situations. Yeah, at that point, I think you got to extend the game. I think at 46, like if you're down 3, they score, it's game's over, So I think at that point you're really playing against the clock, in my opinion. What's bizarre is like that same play at American, like Jacoy same side of the floor, same player, like steals the ball and would have cut it to one, and it's just funny, like it's kind of like the basketball gods, like on that side of the floor, 2 big plays late in 2 different games and kind of get nothing out of them. So,
David, so can you kind of talk about how you're sort of working to reintegrate Jim back into the team? I know you won 2 games without him.
Yeah.
Today he didn't make a shot from the field coming off the bench. Just how is that reintegration sort of going, and what are you think the next steps for him are?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, we knew he was going to play today. We had played very, very well the last 2 games. And so, you kind of feel like we're going to stay with that lineup, but then he was the first sub in, and some of this is your wind when your ankle's been, beat up a little bit and you're working your way back, but, ability to go and practice and play hard. I thought he found that second win, the second half, was able to get himself fouled and stuff. But, I think he'll have to get to the point in practice where, he's really going full speed and then allowing to, make some of those plays in full speed that he just hasn't been able to do with his ankle.
Christian Jones, really strong defensive performance tonight, but around, like the 9-minute mark in the second half, he picks up his 3rd and his 4th foul within like a minute spurt there. Were you thinking of subbing him out after the 3rd foul, or was that not something you were really considering?
Yeah, I might have thought about it. I just felt like, his defense, it's 7 steals and you're trying to like get back into the game, need him out there. So it's probably, honestly, like when he went out, then I think actually Jacoy did a nice job at that point at his 4th foul and was able to find Slim a number of times, and that's when we got, we cut the game. So, yeah, I mean, again, like those are those tough decisions to make, and I'll have to look at the game to see kind of, hey, should I have gotten him out?
you know, Duquesne coming into this game, a very slow tempo team. They really want to slow you down.
Yeah.
You know, what are the challenges of, you know, going up against a team like that when you really want to speed it up and run it and done it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we came out with a great edge in terms of like the deflections, the steals to start the game. Try to get them out. I don't think you can totally. They're not a team that turns the ball over very much. So, you know, the fact that we were able to get them to turn it over 17 times, I think speaks to the way we've been able to play defensively. And as good of a shooting half as they had in the first half, it was, you know, not very good in the second half. So, you know, I think we've got to speed people up with our defense, which I thought we did at times, you know, against them. But yeah, they're pretty methodical, and you know, I actually think that where they really got ahead was the rim decisions that turned into blocks, that turned into transition, where, you know, they didn't have to play offense in the half court; they just shot. You know, and then obviously the glass was important for them as well. But that was the critical part of that game in the first half. That, you know, again, if I go back, should I have stopped that? Could I have stopped that somehow with a timeout? Maybe. But again, we had already used one. You know, so.
So when you cut it down to 1 2 times, so the first time cut it down to 1, 2 straight turnovers.
Is that right? Yeah.
2 straight turnovers.
I know. One time. Yeah, again, I'd have to see. I think that's maybe where Christian was out, and then we cut it to 1 time, and Darren drove it and just missed a layup, and then they came back and banged the 3 to go back up 4. I'd have to look at those plays, what those turnovers were, but when we found a way in the second half to very effectively get the ball to our bigs in the middle. You know, the way they were playing pick and rolls, we couldn't get free of them in the first half, and then we changed the screening angle, got it. You know, those are really good plays for us, and so I think the turnovers are maybe in that, trying to get it there where we had been getting it there most of the second half. That's how we had a decent second half, you know.
Keep going, Scott.
Some struggles from the team, you know, down the stretch from the free throw line. You know, just like what's your message to the guys, you know, down in those clutch moments?
Yeah.
You know, at the line?
I don't really say too much, to be honest. You know, you work on it. You know, guys have some visualization, things like that. But yeah, I think water finds its level. I don't know where we are right now in the season, but it's not been terrible. I don't think. You know, it's unfortunate that down the stretch when you're trying to get back in the game, you miss some, obviously.
David?
I'm not sure if you saw, but George Mason
Yeah.
beat Dayton today.
Yeah.
Really big matchup coming up on Saturday. They're at the top of the conference. You know, just what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, obviously followed him because, you know, Tony, and I think he's done a wonderful job, and they're a terrific defensive team. You know, they're very big, they're very physical. They are probably a top 10 defense going into the game, and so, you know, going to have to, you know, obviously first watch, you know, and figure out exactly, you know, what our plan to score on them is. And we're going to have to be really sharp, and then we're going to have to get some pressure to them. They are, you know, sort of a team that, you know, is potent offensively, but also, you know, high turnover team, right? So you have one defense in ours that, you know, was at the top of the league going into the game today. I don't know if we will still be there, probably in number 1 now. But our defense turns you over. It's sort of what maybe their Achilles heel is a little bit. They're very big and physical, and we're not quite as big and physical in the backcourt especially. So, you know, it'll be a challenge for us. And, you know, like every game in this league, I told the guys, you know, you play Richmond, you're down 11 at half, you come back, take it 12, you know, up 12 or 13, up forward 2 minutes to go, or a minute and a half, you lose the game. Okay, we go up 15 at half on Dayton, they come back, cut it to 3 or whatever it was, we win the game. We go up 15 at mid first half on Rhodey. They cut it. They actually take a lead. We come back, win the game by 10. I mean, that's just what this league is right now. You know, for us, I think if you're playing at your very best, the games are very, very close.
Dave, I got one last one. Raphael said he didn't feel like they had the best week of practice. I'm just curious, you know, what your take is on that, and then also, you know, got 3 days to prepare for Mason, kind of how you're gonna kind of shift that.
Yeah, I think the first thing would be, you know, you think you have like, oh, you have all these days to prepare, right? But the reality is you play Wednesday, You get back, you know, you probably get in your bed at 2 o'clock in the morning because it's a long flight. So you're off on Thursday, and then for us with the ankle injuries, we have ankle injuries, shoulder injuries, Sean's foot, like just different things. Now everyone has that. Everyone's going through that, right? But Friday basically is just not much of a practice, right? You're just trying to get well. You know, you try to practice hard and well Saturday. Sunday you take off because you want the third day to be the day you play, right? So you take off and then go try to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, you know, what I would say is I thought the practices were fine. I thought you didn't maybe totally get the benefit of the multiple days of preparation. You know, kind of came and went pretty quick and not as much time to really work at it because of you know, just healing up a little bit. But you know, again, it's not going to there's not much of that left for us. Our bye is at the end, so we just got to, you know, have some mental fortitude to be able to, like tomorrow, mentally prepare as best we can. But you know, quite honestly, I mean, we played a good team. They're playing very well. I mean, they drilled UC Irvine, who's like a top 50 team. Like, these guys are good. We had a bad stretch in the first half, and then it's a one possession game for, you know, a good portion of the late part of the game, and I think that's just where we are. Like, I don't think we're like, oh, we're supposed to like blow people out. It's just not the makeup of our team right now. You know, I think guys are giving good effort. You know, we have to play a little bit better. We have to not get our shot blocked quite as much. We have to make one or two more threes. We have to make one or two more free throws. We got to have one or two less turnovers in these games that wind up being so close, you know.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.